All right, welcome back.
Yo, yo.
Yo. How's it going, man? It's been a week.
Doing good, man. Doing good. You been okay?
Yeah. You look like the AC blowing like it's snowing over there with that jacket on.
Hey, shout out to the snowman. We was just talking about that, right? Like,
yeah, we were talking about the idea of just, pretty much the middle school days of wearing a snowman shirt. And I'm not talking about Frosty. I'm talking about Jeezy the Snowman and how like your teacher or pretty much your school would ban it basically. So
yeah, I was like, you couldn't wear tall tees, white tees, snowmen.
You couldn't wear nothing back in the day. Well, and then that's when we got to the black Air Force Ones and the white Air Force Ones and the all right. I guess we can do this before we get into our topics of just. To those who don't know, they might have seen memes about black Air Force Ones. So I want to say middle school days for me. I want to say like 03, 04, probably 03, 04. The days of just when, Nelly dropped the Air Force One hit. And then that's when everybody just started rocking Air Force Ones. I had probably like a good 5 to 8 pair.
No, that was I just Googled it. That was 2002. That was right when I was starting high school. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dang, you're old.
Yeah, I'm old as hell.
Yeah. Oh.
But I mean, I remember kids wearing them in middle school, anyways, before the song popped off. So.
True. But it really popped off, and everybody just rocked Air Force Ones from there. So it was just a new fad, basically. But long story short, black Air Force Ones were made notorious by people who robbed, people who got into like. It passed 2 minutes, all type of bullshit, like pretty much your type of guys not necessarily in the hood. For me, my predominantly black school, you already knew, you had an idea who was going to do some shit, and he generally wore the black Air Force Ones, and he generally did shit too. So, hey, that's where the stigma comes in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in 8th grade, there was one kid. We're not saying any names, we were minors at the time. So we ain't trying to throw anybody under the bus. But I remember in 8th grade, one of the kids who wore black forces stole a teacher's car out in the parking lot during school hours. So, I mean,
damn.
I believe that's what the kids call black Air Force energy, right? Like,
yeah, black Air Force energy. All right. So, yeah, that was a nice little canter right there. But to the topic at hand, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about this week. ATL tech layoffs. I kind of have an idea what's really going on. It's not just Atlanta, it's like all these other startups. We would dive into that one, but first off, I want to talk about like it has something to do with our quote unquote 10-year plan. And that's why I say like in terms of like the way I look at jobs now is more of a secondary thing for me. We kind of share that view. So I don't want to speak for you, but man, it was last night. I was working on my own personal ventures. My little app that I'm gonna show you tomorrow. And it was just I got a notification on my phone from Slack, and this is probably like 2 a.m. And this is Slack for work. Granted, I have my sneaker community Slack. Yeah.
I was gonna say because like I had my phone on silent around midnight. I just have it like auto go to silent mode or whatever. You shot me the text around probably 12:30. So to hear a work Slack after that,
I got a message after that. It was just someone was like making a PR basically.
Okay.
Granted, the individual works.
Why are you working at 1, 2 in the morning though?
I'm gonna defend them for a little bit. Okay. They work in Cali, so they were remote out of Cali. But at the same time, why are you working at 11 p.m.?
Yeah, 2 a.m. Yeah, it's 11.
And I'm gonna make it even crazier. We're not even under any crunches. Pretty much, this is state of, I guess, my job. Most of the product team left. The CPO took a leave of absence, in a way, and then now there isn't any work. Everybody's just trying to push for migration of all our databases and services to AWS.
Hey, your company needs to hire me as a consultant, bro.
Hey, yeah, they may need you because that's taking a while. So basically, long story short, the UI team, pretty much the team I'm on, we're not doing shit. So whether it be add some tests here, implement localization, any bugs here, stuff we want to add end-to-end tests, which is pretty cool. We're using Playwright, by the way.
That's the second time I've heard of it. I've heard of it before, but I heard of it literally in a meeting where somebody was like, "Are you familiar with Playwright?" And I'm like, "Not yet." But it seems like that's the move.
It's the same thing as all the other end-to-end
Cypress, Selenium, and stuff. Just like a more modern.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay. Basically, we don't have shit to do. We don't have any features. We probably get one feature every 2 weeks, honestly, and that's just like somebody from higher up who's like, "Why don't this shit work?" And nobody even noticed the shit really wasn't working, so we came with a feature. So
that's funny.
I don't know. So now she's, God, I revealed the person. So the person, pretty much is going above and beyond. Granted, they just started working here. They used to work at one of these big, I don't even call that company a big tech company. One of the big tech companies of the .com era. How about that one? I'll let you
Could be anyone.
Out that one. Sorry
Could
for the
be
why.
anyone. Oh, okay.
So
I remember my first email.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't Hotmail either. So the individual used to work there, and it was just like, you can tell it was like she came. The person came from like a corporate background, in a sense of just like going above and beyond for the job, stuff like that. Kind of like how we were when we first started out, right?
So, but they already have experience.
Yep.
Like I would say, like it's not something that's necessary by all means. I'm not telling people to like work extra hours, but something that worked for me, just like you just said, like when I was starting out, I would work extra hours and shit, you know. Did we make the 2 minute mark? Okay, cool.
We did. We passed.
Cool. I was gonna say, like, I just worked a bunch of extra hours, not even necessarily on work stuff, just shit on my own, just so I could like learn more. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's cool for a junior, but like this is an experienced person. There's no deadline. There's no crunch. Like you just said, y'all ain't got shit to do. They're just working just because they want to work on it.
Yep. Hey, to throw a wrench in your idea right now. Mm-hmm. This individual wrote code longer than us.
So we're looking at a decade plus of professional experience. Mm-hmm. I mean, if that's what they love to do, that's what they love to do. It just seems strange to me personally that you would, if you wanted to be like an individual contributor, why not just go work at a big tech company, just do your tickets and be chill with it, you know?
True.
But like, if you want to do like this, because like you're at a startup pretty much, so like, mid startup.
Would you call a publicly traded company a startup at this point?
I mean, I hear motherfuckers call Zoom a startup still, so Zoom's like,
hell no. But I get what you're saying though. I heard that too.
Like you're not a big company like that. I mean, you are traded, so that is still bigger than.
How about this? All of our software is in all the major banks. So I don't necessarily even call this place a startup anymore.
Well, I would say not even like that you guys are a startup, but like if you had a decade plus of experience and you enjoyed coding for the hell of it, why wouldn't you just go work at a FAANG company and make a shit ton of money? And just chill.
I agree.
Personally, I mean, 10-year plan, boys and girls, and shout out to my non-binaries. 10-year plan would be for us, it's like, hey, get to 10 years, build up skills, build up confidence, make the connects, make our own stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. Like 10 years isn't, work 10 years and then do this. 10 years is like my cutoff, you feel me?
Yeah.
So like, and like not everybody wants to do their own business, and that's fine, but even for those type of people, it's like, bro, just go work at like a FAANG company. Unless maybe you morally hate FAANG companies, but I don't know. That's a strange case. What is it? What's that movie? Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to shout out George. Curious George.
Oh shit! Shout out to Curious George now.
But it's it's crazy because like while she's up working for like our job, pretty much our company, it's unnecessarily work. Granted, it's some work that can be done, but it's like this is on a team. I want to say we have 4 in-house devs. We probably have 5, 6 offshore devs. So it's like we got a full team of members, and it's just like, I don't know, people go above me on while I'm doing my own work. But it's kind of like, and that's why I always tell let me say this right. So this is why I tell people like, invest in yourself. Invest in your things that you want to do and accomplish, whether it be real estate, whether it be stocks, bonds. Use your job that you have now to leverage to what you want for the future. Because like it doesn't have to be the same way of what, our previous generation was. Work at a company for 30, 40 years. Get your 401k right,
But even for them, there was like the advantage that like if we're talking about boomers, right? So like these baby boomers, the old generation before them was a small generation. So then they all had the voting power. So when they were young, they voted for all the stuff that was like good for people starting out. And then as they got older, they're like, oh shit, I'm rich now. I got to hold on to my wealth. Mm-hmm. But it was easy for them to vote those policies in place. And, you at a time where like literally people's houses would cost the same as like a car. And not like a fancy baller car, just like a regular car.
You're right. $10,000 for a home.
Yes.
I look back at my childhood home. My grandpa put a down payment on back like 89. Mm-hmm. I think it was $60,000.
Yeah, my folks' house in Canada. Canada, the economy is a little bit different, but they paid 10,000 Canadian down payment on a house.
Oh dang!
Like a 3-bedroom house, and this was like 87, probably 87, 88.
Yeah, but it's what I'm pretty much trying to get at, and I'm glad you brought up like previous generations.
Like they had the luxury to do that, we ain't got.
So like my grandfather grew up. Pretty much the dead center of the civil rights movement. He's in the thick of things. So it's like this guy pretty much is just a teacher in a sense. He teaches at a Miami-Dade college. He actually was a basketball coach and stuff like that. But this guy used his funds to like put into businesses. So like me, born in the 90s, my grandpa, I want to say he's born in 1924. So it's kind of like when I was a kid coming up, I was like, oh, grandpa owned this, grandpa owned this. Grandpa owned a grocery store. Grandpa owned his own boat that we used to go to and get in the boat and stuff like that. Because like he used that for his investments. So to the point where after my grandfather passed, we had people coming to my grandma's house dropping off a check that he still was bringing in money for the family even after
he was gone, bro. That's the goal, man. Provide for your family even if you're not still there to actively do stuff.
Yeah, and that's why like it's crazy being a senior in this little software game that we're in. Pretty much it's just that our outlet is like so seasoned and we know what's really going on in terms of how companies view us. We talk about profit margins all the time, how they view, hey, if I can get this dev coming in at 60, even though the role is 80, I'm making an extra $20,000 towards the company. Mm-hmm. That's how they think. So it's just like, dang, okay. So in that case, I'm going to do what I got to do. Wake up 9, leave at 5 in a sense, or just, hey, we're not in a crunch or whatever. I'm going to be real with you, bro. I'm probably going to work like 4 or 5 hours, and then the rest of my extra spare time is going to be towards my sports betting app, bro. So it's kind of crazy. You muted yourself, by the way, but it's kind of crazy. So I don't know. Yeah. That's why I believe like jobs should be secondary in people's lives versus like primarily. Because like even with families, bro, like you got the busy family who the mom and dad always working no matter what. And all they really care about is like, I got to get this going on. I've been around kids who've been through this experience where their parents value working over their actual life. So like kids didn't have parents at ball games. Kids didn't have parents here. Because shit, I was traveling and had to get this deal done.
It's true. Just being able
Someone's at the front door.
Someone's at my door.
Oh, that's pretty nice right there.
Yeah. That's cool. Whatever. I'll get it later.
Well, you gonna leave him outside?
Yeah, no, I saw who it was. It's like one of those salesmen, door-to-door salesmen. I got the camera.
Okay.
Pretty fancy. Yeah, I was just gonna add on to the kind of the conversation of just like building on and then having to balance even your business with family time. That's something that kind of what me and like one of my group chats were talking about. Somebody had the question of, would you rather be middle class now or be like royalty 100 years ago? And then that kind of brought up the question, what does middle class even mean? I know people that's millionaires that consider themselves middle class, and I know people that make $20,000 a year thinking that they're middle class. So like the conversation kind of kept going, and then we got to the point where I was like, yo, bro, like financially, I don't consider myself rich. I consider myself doing very well. But it kind of came to the point where I was like, but I still got to put in time. I still got to put in labor, even though it's not like, you know, like I'm not like working the railroad or anything. But so like they kind of switched. So like one of my boys, he's like, no. So like instead of thinking about like lower, middle, rich classes, think of it like you got the working class and you've got like the people that own shit. You got businesses. And the conversation kept going. I was like, cool. So I'm like a high income working class guy. That makes sense, you know? But then we got to the conversation. It was like, yo, LeBron is working class. He's rich as hell, but majority of his money comes from his basketball play and those endorsements. And as soon as he stops playing them, endorsements going to go majority of them as well, you know?
Yeah,
he's making money. He's making money doing other stuff, but the vast majority of his money comes from the time that he puts in. So it was just interesting. So the conversation was like, cool. Well, then how do we transition from high income working class to like how your grandpa did it? You just had checks coming no matter what, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's an interesting way to put it, you know, because like, especially in America, I don't know, like, and I guess Canada too, we're conditioned to think working class means not necessarily wealthy, like middle class and poor folks, but like it's working class rich people too. Yeah,
they're working for their check too as well. And in NBA, they get theirs on the 1st and 15.
Yeah, and then you know they're making millions, but the owner's making billions, right?
Yeah, that is true. In a way, they are grandpa.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the owner's ages, right?
I mean, yeah,
the great grandpa's out here, dog.
You ain't lying. But
I just thought that was very interesting. I'm like, okay, because like I make great money, you make great money, but we stop working, them checks gonna stop coming, you know?
True.
And that kind of puts that leverage over you, or me as well. I'm using you as the general term, just like they got leverage on you when you need to put in the 40 hours a week. Like you have to do this, you have to do that because you need that check. Even if you had like, not even, I would say like even half the money that you're making now, but that shit was coming automatic. Like then you have the freedom to be like, yo, even if I quit this, like all my needs are being met. Like I have that flexibility to like spend time with kids, spend time with family, figure out what you need to do. Cause like you ain't gonna be stressed. And like we're lucky because like we're in software. And in software, like you lose a job, you get another job pretty quickly, at least in today's environment. It might not be the best job now, especially with all these tech layoffs and stuff. But you can still get a job. But like if you're making, I don't know, like enough money for rent, mortgage, car note, food, and all your utilities, and that's just coming automatic every month, then you don't have to like, you literally have zero stress at that point. Like, sure, you can't ball out, but it's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to be good. My family's going to be good. We got nothing to worry about. Sure. It's funny because, like, I was actually talking to our boy Quez in the DMs because, like, you know, he's trying to get into tech and stuff too. And, like, he was like, yeah, man, like, fuck all these dudes trying to do tech because, like, this is the cool shit to do. I'm trying to do this shit so, like, my family can be secure.
Facts, man. That's big facts.
Facts.
Man, and I don't agree with Saint fans often.
Them ain'ts.
Them ain'ts, bro.
Them ain'ts, boy.
Ain'ts, boy. Them wild boys out there in the
Kentucky
bayou.
boys.
Them bayou boys.
Them bayou boys.
Man, I totally agree with everything you're saying, though, bro. That's just, I don't know. We just got to change our mindset in terms of people, in terms of how we view, your job. It's a job. I mean, like you said, to LeBron, it's a job. You're using that money to go ahead and leverage into his other investments.
And that's what Braun's doing, right? Like he's trying to set up, like, he's got his podcast show, and he's trying to like make movies and other businesses. But until that's all set up, he's still working for that check, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because like in my other group chat, we were just kind of talking about like you said, we got to change our mindsets. And I have a friend who he's looking, like he's getting into tech. He just did a boot camp, and now he's applying for this 2-year internship with a investment bank. Like I'm gonna say it because like I don't want to like anyone to like try to ruin chances. And I'm like, no, dude. Like,
wait, it's like a fintech company?
No, it's like a straight up bank.
Oh,
like one of those investment banks, like Wall Street banks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like one of those Wall Street banks. He's like, yeah, I get paid, and then like they'll also teach me stuff, and I'm like, cool, bro. But 2 years is way too long. Like if it was like a 6-month program, cool, dude, do that if it helps you build the confidence for your first job or something. But like, I told him, like, dude, no way. Like after you're gonna be getting paid intern money for 2 years, and like not in tech, dog. Like, I mean, shout out to our boy Musa. Like after 2-3 years, he done doubled his salary just from doing regular jobs instead of doing like this internship route, because you can get a junior gig and pretty much do this. You're gonna have the same responsibilities as an intern generally. Like interns do the same stuff that junior engineers do. They just get paid less because of the title.
Yeah. Like go in there and change this documentation. Hey, add this class to this stand title.
Write some tests over this code over here that the senior didn't feel like writing tests for, right? Like that's what juniors do. That's what interns do.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you're at a good company and like, he said like, oh yeah, but they'll teach me too. It's like, well, if you're at a good company, they're going to teach you anyways. You're going to learn anyways on the job,
Yeah.
If there's bad culture, sure. Like I could imagine nobody wants to help you, but like, you don't want to work at a company like that anyways. True. As soon as you figure out that it's that type of culture, I'll start applying at other places and being like, yo, like get me out of here.
Yeah, and we talk about that all the time with our previous episodes about how like culture is a number one key component to like these jobs and companies and shit.
I mean, yeah, because they still need us, right? Like, sure, it's layoffs, but that's neither here nor there. Like, that's bad business practices. That's our stock price was this high, now it's this high, so we got to make some changes. But like, all these small companies, all these local companies, they're still hiring. Like they ain't worried about them stock prices right now. They don't care that Facebook's down a bunch.
True. And it's funny we keep talking about the layoffs. I definitely want to go into that because I have an idea of why a lot of startups are doing layoffs, especially.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we get to that, man, let's take a little segue, man. Let's do something different, man. We talked about Air Force Ones. And we saw this awesome video today. Well, I did. Mehul doesn't know who's going to win. But there was an actual fight between the Air Force Ones and the Timberland boots. So before we go into our layoffs and everything, man, let's go ahead and just get this nice little intermission, man. We're going to do a little something different. And for our audio listeners, I'm sorry. I might have to edit this out to where we kind of fast forward into like the next segment because they can't really see who wins.
Cool. So,
I guess we could tell them who wins after, but hey.
I mean, they can hear. I guess they can hear it.
Oh.
Let me share. Let me turn up the background music and then share my screen.
Oh yeah. By the way, we're probably gonna get copyright claim for this, and we do not care. So
it's for the people, baby.
It's for the people, man. Go ahead and pull this thing up and play this song, all of it.
All right, bet. So I saw the thumbnail. It's wild, but let's hit play on this. I haven't watched the video.
Hold on. Before, who do you think will win this fight? The Timberland boot or the black Air Force Ones? You got to tell me why.
So we briefly discussed this before the pod, and I was leaning Tim's because they got the Yankee cap. It's like a classic New York thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as we talked about it, like I just gotta rep the Black Forces, man. You know, down south in the 229, kids was wearing that since middle school. You know, like
okay.
Black Forces, like that energy is like now kind of in the mainstream media, or maybe not even mainstream, but just Twitter world and Instagram and internet culture. But we've been new about that shit. You remember who's at the gathering spot? I think that was the episode we did with Mo, and I was like, hey, the janitor got Black Forces.
This guy made who'll stop mid-sentence.
I was like, somebody creeping with Black Forces, dog.
Black Forces outside the door. Oh, shit. All right, you gotta play this, man. Fair use. We got this from Twitter, but yeah, we can go ahead and see who's gonna win this one.
Bet I'm gonna hit play.
Yeah, yo, add it, bro. Add it.
The Metro Card Super.
Yes.
The Arizona.
Yo, the Philly cheesesteak broke. Now, I don't know why people don't make games like this.
The Henny bottle.
The Henny bottle. Yo, throwing the dice at him. Oh, the chopper.
Forces on the ropes, but comeback. Bodega Cat. Oh, okay.
That's round one.
Oh shit! It's the full game.
Yeah.
God, the scratch offs.
The scratch off. The scratch off combo is legendary.
Yo, the chopped cheese.
The Hennessy bottle is it's really doing some damage.
Counter. God, that boy just swinging that Henny.
Yeah, Black Air Force One's putting in that combo.
The hookah?
Combo with the hookah. Hey, and then pulled off in the chart. Did you see that? He pulled off in the Charger.
Yo, he just threw the store at him.
Yeah. Arizona combo.
Bruh.
Be ready for the scratch off.
The quarter waters.
Oh, yes. Yo, the Arizona combo is. Oh, he brought out the Charger.
Bro, why he had the weed after effects?
Oh.
God.
Yo, the Tims.
Okay, Tim's won it.
It pulled off on the bus.
I mean, that's just New York bias, dog. You know, the Forces had him on the ropes.
The Forces pulled off on the Charger.
Bruh. Honestly, they should, instead of the Mets hat, they should have just gave him a Braves hat. He would have won.
Oh my God, bro. That was the best thing I've seen today, man.
That's the best. I mean, that shit's ridiculous, dog.
Man. All right.
It looked like they did Mugen. Like, it wasn't like an animation. Like, they just made those characters in one of those fan games and just put that shit in.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this. Now we got the nice little break, nice little laughs. Mm-hmm. I had lunch today with pretty much Ike. I guess I can say his name. We're not talking shit about him. You're actually gonna meet him tomorrow. He's gonna be at the little demo. But nice. He was talking to me about how out of nowhere the company that he represented laid off some of his devs that he got placed there. Oh. I want to say a good, actually like 20 plus devs, and they're higher up devs. So I'm talking like architects, senior devs, you name it, like directors, managers. They're like high up places. Now he's trying to place them somewhere. So he's been talking to me about like the thing that's been going on with all these tech companies in Georgia, not just Georgia, but really what's going on in the landscape of the tech community all across the U.S. A lot of companies are downsizing. And in a way, they're downsizing, number one, because we talked about this before, everyone's following suit of Facebook, Netflix. So the reason why Netflix and Facebook's doing it is we know Netflix is trying to chase profitability no matter what. Like that's the number one thing that they're going after. Facebook is just prepared for, after how iPhone and Android pretty much fucked them over with this whole
and even even then, like the entire tech sector is down just because, like, I won't call it a bubble, but shit was mad inflated. Like your boy used to trade a bunch. I haven't been doing it much in this market because I've just been focused on other stuff. But something that like fundamental traders look at are like the company's stats. Like you look at the stats, kind of like how stat nerds ruined the NBA. Back in our day, it's like, oh, he got that dog in him, But
there's no analyst for that dog for him.
Bro, you got the dog in him, dog. What you mean 3-point? That shit don't matter.
Got that dog in him, boy. Let's start him.
But no, one of the stats that you can like look up for companies is their PE ratio, and so that is the price. Oh, that's the price to earnings ratio. So let's say say a company has like they make $1 million a year, and if you add up the price of all the stocks, let's say that's $2 million. So that means the company's worth $2 million, and they're making $1 million every year. So that's like a 2-to-1 ratio. That's pretty good. That's fantastic. Actually, I'll buy the hell out of that stock. But some of these tech companies were like fucking like 300, 400, 700 times price to earnings ratio. So like if you was gonna go buy like a business like a barbershop, would you spend, and the barbershop makes $1 million a year, would you spend $700 million to buy that barbershop? Hell no.
No.
You might spend $2-3 million, be like, all right, I'll make my money up after a couple of years. I'll expand. I'll do this. I'll do that. So a lot of these tech companies, there's this index called the QQQ, which is all the tech stocks pretty much. And so you can just track that, and like that'll kind of give you an idea of like the prices of all these tech companies. And that shit's been down, but like honestly, it makes sense for it to be down. Like, why is your shit trading at 600-700 times the amount of money you're making? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like everyone, well, also because like, and the reason why people did it is like, oh, it's tech, it'll grow. But it's like, bro, some of these are the biggest companies in the world. Like, how much further are they going to grow? And you're still giving them 700 times $7 on the dollar. Like, that shit just doesn't make any sense. Like, you could pay double, triple. Like, let's say you're a top 5 company in the world. Like, how much more are you going to grow realistically? Like, I mean, it's gonna be some government shit that like has to shut down these companies if they grow up any bigger. Like,
what about Amazon?
Amazon's down a bunch. When I started, the shares were at 2,500. It peaked at around 3,600, and last time I checked, I mean, it's split, but it's around $100. But it's split to 20-1, so it's around $2,000. So it's actually down compared to 2 years ago when I joined.
Okay.
So. And it makes sense. I mean, Amazon, they reinvest all their profits at the end of the day too, right? So, like I think a lot of these tech companies, they're super solid. Like Apple, like they have more cash than literal countries do. Yeah. Like they literally have enough cash on hand to straight just buy Netflix. They'd be like, oh yeah, we're just buying Netflix. Cash money.
Yeah, which was that rumor that we definitely follow along. And then
it was a wild ride.
Yeah, it was a wild
but then
ride.
they're all like, you know what, Apple TV, we're good. We got to worry about all that.
We can just hire all the best directors, best actors.
Yeah, because
I don't really care.
They're literally like, oh, we can just do the Netflix strategy, except we got more cash. So
and you buy that new M2, we let you get it for free for a year.
Yeah, and they're just giving it, and like people get hooked. Like they have that show. What's that soccer show? It's really good.
The Ted Lasso thing.
Ted Lasso, man, it's a really good show. I haven't caught up. Like I got like 2.5 seasons in. It's really good. It's real heartwarming. It's funny as fuck.
Everybody keeps saying this, so I might give it a shot, man.
I used to think the same thing, and then I started watching it, and I was like, cool, dude. Because like you don't need to know anything about soccer. It's like a sports drama where the sports is secondary. It's like more about just like the character interactions and shit.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about big companies. So like these smaller companies, I'm noticing a trend in regards to like they're doing layoffs, especially here in the city of Atlanta. A lot of companies are still trying to raise funding during these times. So there's a way for them to go ahead and you know how evaluations work. Your
burn rate, your profitability.
So all these investors are very conservative due to the fact that, you know, I can't take as much money out as I used to. The feds have increased the rates, number one. So when I do take out this loan or when I do front you this money, basically, it's at a higher rate. So to me, it's at a higher cost. So how profitable can you really be? So like all these investors that I'm noticing are really keen on like, okay, can you really become profitable? If so, can you go from $1 million to 10 to 100 in 5 years? Like, do you have a viable plan to actually bring this to life?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because I mean, go ahead.
The companies during the pandemic that raised the valuation back like you said, when they were just throwing away money.
Interest was like the federal interest rate was 0 at one point.
Exactly.
Like, and so banks were charging like nothing to lend that money. Like if you're a billionaire and you're like, "Ayo, bank, let me get some money," they're gonna be like, "All right, cool. It'll be like 0.25% interest or some bullshit," and then you go and then you invest all this shit everywhere else, you know? Mm-hmm. Shit, so, my mortgage was less than 3%.
Mine is 3%. I did a refinance at 3%. Mm-hmm. So it's when you think about that, I'm a new company. I just did Series A funding 2 years ago. Now we did growth. We never expected the pandemic. We never expected inflation. We never expected all this shit that's going on now, gas prices, all this shit. So I need to grow. We run out of money. I need to go ahead and do another series evaluation. So if I do a series evaluation, and with the way the economy is now, I'm already have less revenue coming in. How can I, if I go get evaluated now, my evaluation is going to be even lower than I think it is going to be. So to offset it, what they do, they cut costs. So that's why they've been going ahead and cutting devs, especially ones with like, let's be real, higher salaries and stuff like that. I can keep me a cheap dev, maybe keep me one senior dev, but my man Rick and me, who are making $250,000, man,
and the messed up part is
they'll bounce back.
They're also thinking like, oh yeah, they already architected a great system, whatever. Like the senior devs, the junior devs can work on it. Like we already hit our growth stage. Now we're hitting our profitability stage.
Yep. So now a lot of the companies are doing the same thing, where they're just like, I got to gear up for Series B funding. I got to go ahead and become, because like we talked about this a while ago too. Damn, we got a lot of content about how they are actual $1 billion startups here. Calendly being one of them who made it through the pandemic. I think there are 4 others too as well. But everyone's trying to grow. And then here in Atlanta, which is a tech city, I mean, shit, as any other company, your main target or your main goal in mind is to grow. So with that in mind, a lot of companies are doing layoffs because of this actual situation. Because I can't get $100 million like I used to at 0%. Now the plug is getting hit 6-7% on top of that. So he's expecting more. He's expecting like, how can I actually make this money back? Before it was 0%, I didn't really give a damn. How can I make this money back? So here we are today.
It's funny because like this reminds me of like kind of like a thought I had, like just thinking about like when I lived in the Bay Area, and like this is like, you know, 2012, 2013, when they was just throwing money everywhere. Shit was like the golden age of tech investors for like VCs and stuff. They're just like, oh shit, that company's $1 billion. Shit, I want to get richer because they're already rich to begin with, right? But I realized when I moved there, my roommate said that San Francisco is just a retirement community for millennials. Because all the startups were like, oh yeah, you don't have to do your laundry, we'll do it for you. Oh yeah, this is like when food delivery was popping off. This is when Uber was coming out. It's like, you don't have to like be a grown up and do shit for yourself. You can just use an app to do that. And all these apps were subsidized by so much VC money. Like I remember when I lived there, Uber was like $5 flat fee anywhere in the city. The subway gonna cost you, or they call it BART over there. That shit's gonna cost you like at least $5-6 when you count like going there and back, and then it's not door to door and stuff, you know. Like food delivery was free. I mean, and you know, like all those like bullshit fees on your Uber Eats or your Grubhub or whatever, they didn't exist back then, you know. In fact, they would give you discounts to order food, so like it was cheaper to order Uber Eats than it was for me to drive myself somewhere and get the food myself.
The good old times,
right? And then what also was crazy was like all these crazy high salaries, right? Like I remember your kids, and this is like 2012, this is a decade ago, that kids fresh out of college were doing like $250,000 in certain companies. I mean, they were lucky.
Damn.
It was definitely not the norm, but they were lucky. And I was like, how can these companies afford that, right?
Yeah.
And then these kids were like, they would buy houses. Well, they wouldn't even buy houses because you still can't really afford, a house in the Bay Area for that. But we're paying these crazy rents, like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month rent. And I just realized, like, literally, tech investing is like it's like, I mean, not to call it laundering, because I'm sure some of it actually is laundering, like all that Saudi money that's coming in, you know. But it's essentially just, hey, how do we make the landlords rich? Oh, we're paying all these salaries to these kids, but these kids are bad with money because they're just 20-year-olds. Some of them are 18-year-olds, some are 22. They're just getting money, and they want to live in the baller ass apartment, you know, flex to all their friends in like Oklahoma or wherever the fuck they came from.
Or McRae.
McRae, hey, I mean, I did it too. Don't get me wrong, I did that shit too. But we got lucky, dog. My neighbor was paying $6,000 a month for a 1-bedroom. Me and my boys, we talked our landlord down to $4,000 a month for a 3-bedroom, just because we was nice and polite Southern boys, you know. But he was from Norcross, I was from McRae. We was like, bet, we got this shit. But all that money, like if you think about it, like if an average rent's $5,000 for a 1-bedroom right now, you're looking at how much money on rent that these landlords are making. Like, and all that is just subsidized by the VCs at the end of the day. VCs is just paying people's rent money, and that's just making property values come up even higher, pushing out more folks. Like, this shit is a cycle, dog.
Man says laundering. Okay, I love that. I never thought about that.
Speaking of crazy gentrification, we getting a White Castle on Edgewood, bro.
What?
Yeah, like Harold and Kumar. What goes into White Castle?
Yeah,
like the crystals. Yeah, we're getting one on Edgewood, bro. It's like 2 doors down from Joystick, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like straight up on Edgewood.
Wait, hold on. I was just on Edgewood 2 days ago, right?
Bro.
On Sunday.
Construction?
No, Sunday. My boy G-Man was in a Smash Bros tournament, man. He
won. Yeah.
By the way. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Let's go, G-Man.
And ironically, 3 doors down, Quavo just opened up a smoke shop, and he was outside when I pulled up.
I saw G-Man's IG for that. I seen the IG. He was like right up in there. I was like, yo, damn, bro.
What's going on that day, man? I was like, G-Man, what the hell, bro? All this for the game tournament? He said, nah, bro. Quavo just here doing his little thing. I'm over here in Joystick. So, Joystick. So,
like these tax write-offs that the state is doing for movies and stuff, and just like all these businesses are coming here, but like you can see what's happened to our property values over here too, right? Like the movie industry, these tech companies are just subsidizing your mortgage pretty much at this point.
Yeah, they will be. So there's a startup I want to talk about. Have you heard about restaurant QR code, or just restaurant QR?
The company? No, I imagine, just gonna guess they do like the QR menus as a service.
Yes, bro. That's it. That's it. And like during the pandemic, like they pretty much build their proof of concept, go ahead and leverage it out, and now they pretty much, for this Series A, they raised $100 million. So they have $124 million in investments, right? And this
What do they value that?
That is a great question. Let me pull this up, because right now
Series A, $100 million Series A, and all they do is this.
Mm-hmm. All they do is just have QR codes on top of like.
How much are they charging?
So if you note, if anyone's been to a restaurant, you've been noticing that you can pay with your actual QR code lately, is more than likely run through restaurant QR, which has an office here in Atlanta. They got offices in Paris. They got offices all over, basically. But Atlanta's like their main tech hub. So they raised $124 million, but at the same time, they also cut staff too as well. They're one of the companies that cut a number of engineers. So it's kind of like, is it kind of mind-boggling? It's like, yo, this company raised $124 million in less than a year, and then we gotta let people go just to keep our valuation higher, or at least on par to what it was. And that's what I think. Like the reaction I got out of you, the $124 million for Series A. That's ridiculous. How the hell are you going? What are you going to raise for your next series? Why would you have to raise up?
You have to raise up, because if you don't raise up, then nobody's going to invest you in the following series.
Yeah, because they're so bent on this situation. They're so bent on, we have to either be profitable or we got to cut down this cost as much as possible, and somehow convince them to give us $200 million.
At least like 175 or some shit, like. That's why I don't prefer the VC game. I was in some VC startups. I might revisit that in the future, but like as of right now, I'm on team bootstrap this shit,
Hey, you know me, man. I'm getting mine out the mud. I am my own angel investor.
Right.
So, and that goes back to using my job to leverage that into what I actually want to do. So
it's funny. It's funny because from fighting games and stuff, like everyone had like their different sponsors, and their sponsors would fly them out and like pay for their hotels and everything to go to tournaments, right? There was this like clothing brand that like somebody in the community started, and it just said self-sponsored. So like that shit sold out everywhere, obviously.
I might need to find that shit.
It's called Hungry Human was the brand. Okay. I was like, that's a good ass name too. Like self-sponsored. I'm like,
sponsored. I mean, hey, that's how it should be, honestly. And all right. So we're meeting tomorrow for our, let's be real, the sports betting app. I'm giving you guys a proof of concept. In a way, I'm just showing you guys like, hey, rock with me. This is what I'm bringing to the table. I pretty much, I'm open to all help. I'm open to all partnerships. I'm open to everything. But this is what I'm bringing to the table. So in a way, I'm trying to go ahead and get, like you said, bootstrap this stuff ourselves. With that, leverage our own money that we have given from our jobs. So in a way, your average angel investor gives you what, $20 to $30 to $40,000 to start off to get you out the gate. And this is like for someone who don't necessarily have coding skills, they have people skills. So they got to pay the developer, they got to pay the UX designer, they got to pay that is graphic designer, they got to pay your service admin if this isn't included in your design. Like you're looking at really $20,000-$30,000, and I understand why they give that. But luckily, we're software engineers. We write our own code. Yeah. So we get it out the mud, man. So it's like, I agree with that bootstrap.
Yeah, because like it's funny. Like I was just talking to somebody who needs to build an MVP for their own app. And I told him that shit will cost you probably $20,000 to get all that done, It's a mobile app. It needs a back end. You're looking at AWS hosted backend. You're looking at Android and iOS front end. Like the whole project's going to cost you probably $20,000.
Are they looking to do just a proof of concept, or they're trying to build out the?
They're trying to build an MVP.
Oh,
I'm like, bro, just the mobile engineer is going to take $20,000 just to do like a React Native app. And then so he was like, cool. He went to his investor.
His sponsor.
That's really what it is, He was going to his sponsor, and then his sponsor was like, nah, bro, you could get the app done for like $7,000, $5,000.
What's the it's like Pfizer or some shit. Where people go in there and they
Fiverr.
Yeah. I had one person my homegirl from college. She has a vegan business now where she's doing like I need that shirt.
Bro.
I need that self-sponsored. Man, I might buy one today, bro, after we get off this call.
Bro. Their site is down. I think he shelved it.
Oh no.
So that shit might be rare.
Might
have to check StockX.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a hard ass shirt, and like he has the different colorways and shit. I remember I used to match that shit with my fucking my Maxes.
Man, I definitely lost train of thought after seeing that shirt. It's a cool ass shirt.
Yeah. You were talking about your homegirl had a vegan app.
Oh yes. So she has a vegan restaurant. Well, she makes food. She makes vegan food. She charges people overpriced. Hold on. This size right here will be lemonade. She'll charge $20 for this. So, and people are paying this shit. You know, it's the organic way of things. So she hit me up saying like, "Hey, I'm looking to go ahead and get a website done." So I'm asking her these things. I already know what time it is. I'm like, "Hey, okay, cool. You need a new website. Do you have a place already hosted? Do you have a domain name? Do you need everything set up, maintenance, all this?" She's like, yeah. And I was like, "What is your budget? How much?" This girl told me I was thinking $250. So I'm thinking like, God, all right, let me. You're
an hour, you mean? Right? Like
no, bro.
I mean, she meant total, but if I had been like, you mean per hour, right? Like
I already knew what time it is because I'm asking these other questions to get her mind thinking like, oh shit, okay, I didn't think about this stuff. I didn't think about database. I didn't think about keeping track of my receipts. I didn't think about like shipping, all this shit. She had $250 to bring to the table. So I was like, I pulled her to the side like, hey, look, that's not gonna happen. You at least need like a good $10,000 to $15,000 to get this out the door. She was like, what?
If you want to build out like a full app or something, I mean, she could set up a Shopify site or like a Square.
I told her that too. I was like, I said, you might be better off just going with that route, Shopify, or any third party to handle all your merchandise and selling. And
you're not going to get anything custom for less than 10.
She told me she was going to that website, Fiverr or whatever, right? So she put, this is in a group me message, and some other guy was like, yeah, man, I don't know what Rick talking about. Use that Fiverr. That Fiverr is better. Fiverr, by the way, is I put a project that I need done. So me and Mayhul need a website done. I'm gonna put it on Fiverr. Some 18-year-old kid is gonna be like, oh, this is a cool project for me to put on my resume or my stuff. I'll work on it. So you got some young kid that you're
realistically
business.
It's gonna be kids in India and China doing this shit for pennies on the dollar. And if you've worked, I mean, I'm Indian myself, and I've worked and managed teams in India, bro. It's the reason, and this kind of like, it's kind of a tangent, but like, it's the reason you see so many Indian developers in America, because they know they ain't getting paid shit in India, so they get their visas and they come over here to make that real bread. So you got to think that if all the best engineers are over here in the States already, I mean, not to say there's very, very talented engineers in India, but those talented engineers in India, they're working for all the dope companies or they're making their own companies. The kids that are sitting around on company. Yeah, or like, yeah, I mean, shit. Like, all, because they're already like, all these big companies freelancing Indian, Chinese. I think Filipino companies are like popping up now too for that. But
Argentina, Poland, we got some devs in Poland.
Russia, well, I don't know if Russia with the whole war, but like, yeah, that was like a thing.
That one, but yeah. There's some people who we work with. Like, I think we have some Ukrainian devs that work at our company.
So like it's free, it's like offshoring a lot of that, but like all those guys, they have good paying jobs. So who's left building your apps and stuff like this? Like, don't get me wrong, I've definitely used Fiverr. Like, oh, I need some Photoshop work for a bunch of stuff. Boom, Fiverr. But like, bro, you don't.
An entire website for your merchandise.
That shit's gonna be a fucking WordPress. That's what it's gonna end up being.
Yep. And I definitely told her, wait, WordPress might be something for you too.
Yeah, WordPress might be something. Like, shout outs to, I mean, personally, like, we use Shopify for our jewelry store. Like, just because that shit's all ready, it's good to go, you know? Has credit card processing, has order fulfillment. You can even use them to, like, get, like, vouchers for shipping and shit like that. Like, it does everything, you know? And so that's what I always tell people. It's like, you don't want a custom. Because me being, like, their dev friend, like, oh, man, how much would you charge you this? Like, dude, just go to do a Shopify. Oh, I don't want to do all this. Like, pay me to do the Shopify for you, but like custom, like, it's gonna, like, bro, like, I'm charging $200 an hour. Like, it's not, it doesn't make sense for you to like even if you got the money, it's like I don't feel right taking your money on that one. You just need something simple, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had that conversation with yeah, she still don't have a website up. I think that was over a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
So,
and that's what happens. Like, just, it happens like to a lot of people. Like, they get the, oh, I'm just gonna do the cheap route. Cheap route's not always the best route. Don't get me wrong.
You get what you pay for, man.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. I mean, that's exactly it. Like, I'm gonna still buy some cheap shit, but not shit that I need to be solid. You know, like paper towels. I don't give a fuck about no paper towels, right? But like, you know, like my real towels, I'm gonna buy some nice towels. You know.
I do buy. I am very bougie when it comes to toilet paper, by the way. So you
wipes, baby. Yeah, wipes, dog.
I'll spend bread. If it's not a baby or angel in the pack, I'm not buying a toilet paper.
We on that bidet game now, dog. We got luxury.
Oh yeah. See, I'm not there yet, man. I see that's man. I can make myself that bougie, but when I do, it's no coming back for me. So I'm not I'm gonna have bodegos in every bathroom in the house, man. That's why I'm kind of scared when I get a new house, man.
Bro,
it might be over with, man.
All my bathrooms got the bidet attachments on all of them, dog.
Oh, I've used your bathroom before, and it's very, very nice. But no, I can't do that, man. Because once I do that, I can never go back. It's gonna be bodego everywhere.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Like anytime I go like on a trip, it's like, bro, like, what is this bullshit ass toilet over here? You know?
See, I can't do it, bro. That's how I am.
Sure, I'm like, when I see the toilet paper, I'm like,
bro, that's how I am with
I gotta bring my
beds now, bro. That's how I am with memory foam beds. I cannot sleep in anything that's not memory foam for a long time. Like we go to Ashley's mom's house 2 days max, and after that first night, I'm like, God damn, why we still got spring mattresses?
who beat me up in my sleep, right?
Yeah. Who the hell did this to me? Yo. But yeah, man. But yeah, back to the startup companies. Yeah, a lot of them are doing the same thing, and I've been noticing the trend. Even with you heard of Terminus, it's like a big marketing software company. They're actually based here in Atlanta. It's another startup here in Atlanta that's raised over hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of people don't know about it.
Like the Terminus building.
Yeah. They're laying off 15% of their staff.
Shit. Right there in Buckhead, yeah.
For the same reason. Cutting costs. Got to lower the actual cost itself, so you got to get rid of employees or operating costs, and or both, because, hey, we want to grow as a company. We want to hit that $1 billion valuation. It's a trend, bro. I kind of peeped it out and noticed it. And I think it really happens to companies that ask for a shit ton of money up front. So we talked about the restaurant QR code. Yeah, they got 5 offices all over the world. They took $124 million. Well, shit. You got to go up from there.
You have to go up.
Yeah. So you're really going to go to these companies.
It's like them toilets, dog. You can't go back.
You can't go back, bro. That's like man, that's like God, what company was that? It was some company I used to hate going to the bathroom there because they had 1-ply toilet paper. That shit sucked.
School ass toilet paper, dog. Fuck out of here.
Can't go back, bro. So it's kind of like they start off at $124 million for Series A. Like you said, 175 is what you're looking at for Series B.
At least.
But you have to go up no matter what. You got to go up no matter what.
Because if you don't go up, like next time you need money, I'm just like, well, why didn't they go up? Is shit going? Right. Is shit okay? Is shit going down?
Be real, bro. As a startup, your evaluation is the only thing you really, really care about. That's top priority that represents you as a company. You can say, yeah, I bring in $100 million. That's really cool and all. But hey, yo, my evaluation is $200 million, though, bro.
Yeah, once you get that investor money, even though the company's not profitable, meanwhile you got Joe Schmo over here, and like he's just doing freelance dev work with his homies, and they're making $1 million each profit with zero valuation. You know?
Yeah, very true. Look at Netflix. Netflix is making $0 profit, and it's $1 billion valuation.
Is Uber profitable yet?
Uber?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I think Uber's one. That's why I told you about the big companies. Everybody's trying to get profitable now.
Because
that's like the number one priority.
Yeah, because Uber, before they went public, they had $25.2 billion in funding, and they were not profitable.
Jeez.
A lot of it was that Saudi money that I was talking about, and I'm like, that makes sense, dog. You know, Saudi money pays for a lot of tech. Remember we were talking about Nintendo?
Yeah, they got
a couple episodes.
Nintendo.
Right. So, and they exited before they were profitable, in my opinion, because that's why like they keep jacking up the prices, adding those fees, because they ain't making money. But you know, all the owners and stuff, like they went public, and all the employees are like, "Shit, my stock's worth as much. Just sell that shit out, cash out, and go on to the next one." But at the end of the day, somebody's holding the bag, whether it be the shareholders, because you best believe all those people that invested that money, they took that stock money and got the fuck out because they already knew the company wasn't profitable. So it's almost like this is kind of a scam of its own self. Let's just get this valuation. Let's not care about making profit. And hopefully somebody buys us out or we go public. That's the two options.
We cash out. Like you said, if I'm the dev who's there from day one, I'm there. I vested 4 years. I might have got in when we'll say the shares were 17 cents a share. And then now you're looking at what?
200-300.
Easy.
Yeah.
I don't leave,
but yeah,
cash out and leave. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right, because like that's the problem with investment. Unless you have really cool investors, but that's usually if you take a small investment. You know, you taking $100 million. Like motherfuckers need you to get bought out or go public. Otherwise, you're fucked. Yeah. You get nice like personal investor, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna float you to 2-3 million. And I'm gonna buy this percent of your company. Like, say they buy like 20% of your company for like $3 million. They might be cool with, the company's making $10 million a year. I own 30%. Let me just get my $3 million every year, and we straight. You know, you guys make your profit, I make my profit. We good. And like that type of investment makes more sense to me. That's more of a partnership in my mind, as opposed to these VCs, because these VCs, man, they just take over your company.
Yep. Especially when you keep going back to the well asking for more money.
Yeah,
I mean that actually happened to a previous company I was working with. You know, Hudson and Mex. They failed to reach their goal. Pretty much, they put all their eggs in one basket for one client. Granted, it's a global client. It's top 5 in the industry of TV advertising. Didn't go through. So now they had to go back to the well, which was, I believe, a Centra. I forgot the name of their partners that they were with, but their two partners basically gave them $64 million, and they're at Series D, which is really far in. So in a sense, it's kind of like you're giving up an additional, like you said, 18 to 20% of your company for $64 million. Now at this point, I gave you $30 million a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. What if you haven't really shown me you can do anything with it in terms of becoming profitable or landing any of your goals that you came in mind with? So I'm going to take over more. So in a sense, once that happened, a lot of changes happened. Like they cut off all the bonuses. They cut off some of the benefits, the extra benefits, whether it be like, commuter benefits. This is all, that might be allegedly on that one, but they did cut all the bonuses. And then a lot of people left. The chief product officer left. A lot of the former friends I had, the colleagues who worked there, they left. My boy Wasif left, bro.
Wasif left? Wasif was a cool kid.
Yeah, he's working at Cisco now.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah.
He was a cool kid. He was like the Node kid, right?
Yeah,
he was learning Node. Yeah. I see him. I saw him a few times at 404.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I think he plays Smash Bros or something. I've seen him there a few times.
He plays Smash. He's one of the ones who rage quits. Like you can whoop his ass, and he'll get pissed. And to me, it's like I'd rather see you pissed than beat you win at that point than win.
I'd rather lose and see you get pissed at me losing. I have a friend who's really good at fighting games at Marvel, way better than me. But like the way I play, he just hates it. And even when he beats me, he just gets mad, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing that shit.
I just pull King DD out and just fucking his ass up. So yeah, man, it's just So they went back to the well. They got their $64 million. They got Series D funding, and then they lost, I assume another 15 to 20% of the company. So at this point, who really runs the company? You're Series D. You're deep into this shit.
All the board seats that you've probably given up already, you're gonna get outvoted. I've seen Silicon Valley. I see how that shit goes.
Yeah. Oh.
You seen Steve Jobs movies? Like he gets kicked out of Apple.
Yeah, he got kicked out of Apple that way.
Yeah, like that's how that shit goes, right? Like if you ain't making money, the investors got more power, more leverage than you do most of the time.
Hey, Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, they got him out the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because I was actually this is something it's different about the tech scene in India. I was talking to some people there. It's harder for them to get investments, like VC money is out here, but like their investment is basically way better though. Like their terms are better for like the founder. Like the founder owns majority of their company. Meanwhile, like I think the last time I Googled it, like Jeff Bezos owns like 11% of Amazon or something like that. Meanwhile, these dudes own like, after everything, 51% of the company, so they still call the shots.
Is Zuckerberg still at 51%?
I doubt it.
I just remember he was like one of the few founders who kept that mindset of just holding majority of the company.
12.8% is what Google said.
Oh, well, I guess that was like over 2 years ago. Yeah. And
so that's the thing, right? It's like, at the end of the day, even though you started the company, you're just the highest paid employee at the end of the day.
You're employee number one.
Literally. Meanwhile, like I'm looking at these dudes and I'm like, oh shit. It's like y'all went public, y'all did everything, but you still have 51%. So even though your company is like, it might not have that $1 billion valuation, you still own more of your company. So really you got more leverage, more power, more money than a lot of these CEOs of these $1 billion companies. Because like 11% of a $1 billion company or 50% of a $500 million company.
So on that note, should we aim to be VCs at the end of the day? Become the plug?
I mean, the thing about these VCs is a lot of people have the idea of becoming angel investors, and that makes sense because that's something you could do privately. But like a lot of these VCs, essentially you're just giving your money to a fund, and then the fund does all the investments. Like like say you're a multi-millionaire, you're like, all right, cool, I'm gonna give, I don't know how much money, because they have like minimum requirements on how much you can invest. But let's say they have like $1 million minimum. You're like, you just give your million to them, and they just give you returns, kind of like investing in like any other investment. And so that's how that shit works. And then
in a way,
they have like go ahead.
So in a way, it's more of like an index fund. So it's like
kind of you're index funding. Yeah. You're doing an index fund on all of the properties or investments of that company. So it's a riskier index fund essentially. Instead of having that stable money, it's I could make a shit ton of money or I could lose it all. Because at the end of the day, you are just gambling on a bunch of computer nerds.
Yeah,
most of these kids are fresh out of college, very little business experience. Like when you really think about it. But I mean that'd be cool. That'd be cool to become. You could become your own VC fund.
That is true. Because think about it. Back in 2012, these kids were getting millions of dollars on PowerPoints.
Literally, dog. Literally, PowerPoints. Here's $3 million.
Like I feel like I can do it this way.
My plan is to build this out. I've got industry expertise because my brother has worked construction his whole life, and the construction space is ripe for disruption and blah blah blah. And we're gonna build a mobile app, and it's gonna be social, and it's gonna be local, and we're gonna use Google Maps in it. And boom, here's $3 million.
I'm gonna try to pitch like that tomorrow, right?
I got you, dog. As someone who has pitched and who has been through the game,
like, and it's gonna be funny because like
I'm gonna pull up early so we can go through it before we.
Yeah. Like I said, it's
informal, but
yeah. And like I said, I think there's gonna be like 4 or 5 people there, including you and Jerome. So I'm keeping it very low key raps. I'm not making any noise about this shit until August. But when I started making noise, oh yeah, this shit's on. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting tomorrow. But I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, we're here to disrupt the industry. Yeah,
you got to, you have to, because that's the game. You know, the game is the game.
Hey, changing the game, remaining the same.
Are you gonna do your newscaster voice?
Hello. Come on in. Everybody sit down. And,
you're gonna do the.
Oh,
no, the listeners can't hear, but I mean, like, so we're here. We're local, mobile, social, and we're gonna make the world a better place by allowing you, the end consumer, to XYZ.
Exactly. No, I mean, be real about this shit. Mainly just like, hey.
Hey, bro, this is the app. This is what we're trying to do. The market is a multi-trillion-dollar market.
It's literally a multi-trillion-dollar market. I'm not gonna be like one of those bullshit pitches that's gonna say, "Oh yes, this is a billion-dollar industry." No, it's a fucking trillion-dollar industry. And here's the numbers back.
Like I'm having flashbacks to the automated trash cans.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, this man he said the same thing. It's a $1 trillion industry in the trash space. We're like, oh, dang, I didn't know. But no, I'm literally going to show y'all facts. I mean, number one, I talked to you about it, bro, about New York itself putting up $1 billion in the month of June alone in sports betting scandals. And that's just one state.
Yep. Well, it's so much money. So much money to be made.
So yeah. Hey man, I think we can end on that note, man. Crap, I was supposed to go to Orange Theory at 7:00. Looks like it's not happening. So, I'm about to work out another day. Yeah. Hey man, I had a great time today.
Likewise, it's a great episode.
Great episode.
We didn't have any viewer questions. It looks like nobody.
No StreamYards, no super chats, no nothing. We don't have super chats, but yeah. Yeah, I guess they catch us on the back end or record, but it don't matter because we're gonna be back on Thursday. Thursday. So, yeah.
Bet.
Well, we gotta figure out our old man coffee, our old man dev coffee. We don't have a name for this thing.
We missed it this week. We gotta figure that out.
Yeah. We might have to do it this weekend or anyway, just to make up for it. Well, me, I don't know if Jerome Hardaway. Okay. I don't like getting people's names wrong. They get my shit out wrong all the time. We got.
Trust me, dog. People be fucking my name up all the time.
Hey, bro, I used to be. Bro, you okay?
It's so easy too. It's not even hard.
Let's talk about this, bro. I was saying your name wrong for so long, and you never corrected me. A friend of mine corrected me.
I just didn't give a fuck, bro. I got to the point where I'm just like,
like this. I was like, "Yes, my boy. What was I saying? Mahul." Or something. I was like, yeah, my boy, cool right here, bro. And then my homegirl pulled me to the side. She's like, I think you're saying his name wrong. I was like, what are you talking about? It's Mayhu. I was like, shit, he ain't say nothing. No. Damn, I've been saying it wrong. I felt bad. I was like, I've been wrong this whole time,
bro. Like when you just go your whole life, I'm just like, bro. Because at work, I really didn't give a fuck on how I was just here to get this check and get my work done, you know. And then I was like, whatever. But that shit's not hard to say, dog. It's just Mayhul. Like, it's not like it's 20 letters long, right?
Not rhetoric.
Oh,
I get Roderick. Get Roderick, bro.
You get Roderick.
There's no damn hole in his name below, man. Like,
they just see the R and the C at the end, like, oh, it must be Roderick.
Frederick. I heard that before too. I've heard all type of names. I'm just like, yo, what?
Red Eric.
Red Eric.
That's
actually that's the least likely option I get, which is really weird. Like I said,
that's just how you spell it, right? Like that'll be your pirate name. I'm Red Eric, the like Blackbeard or whatever. It's like, no, dude, I'm Red Eric.
Red Eric, the one-eyed bandit.
Oh shit.
But yeah, man, I totally understand. Yeah. Man, you want to do our little YouTube cadence? We're here.
I got it. We're here to disrupt your YouTube viewing experience. But to do that, we need to partner with you, the listeners, the viewers. please click the subscribe button. I can't even continue this shit, dog. I can't
Turn
even
your
continue.
hit your likes and turn.
Yo, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, talk your shit, tweet us, message us, DM us. If you got the number, hit the text. Any questions, we're more than happy to help. Talk shit, help you get ready for an interview, whatever it is. Let us know. We're here for you.
Yep. Hey, salute. That's all I got.